Hi everybody, this is Riyad Kasim with QBrush.com. In this chapter, I will be going through the exporting of the sculpt from ZBrush to Keyshot. Then I'll cover the UI within Keyshot and go through materials, textures, and HDR environment lighting within Keyshot. I start off in ZBrush to review the pose, select the transpose tool to rotate the arms into position, creating an alternative pose for the secondary character. I select the gun design and use the same transpose marker position to rotate the gun into the hand. I review the pose, then position the sculpt to the left. I press Shift S to create a snapshot of the object, then position the object to the right. I activate the visibility for the variant design parts and pose to compare the two designs together. I then go through the different parts of the design, checking the poly groups. I then start to export the different parts of the design as OBJ files to be imported into Keyshot. I name the files accordingly and continue to export the rest of the objects. The Subtool Master plugin allows you to export multiple objects at once, but I rather decided to check the objects first before exporting. I then continue to go through the different parts. I skip through the rest of the exporting from ZBrush into Keyshot. Now I'll go through the user interface for Keyshot, which is relatively simple. The left tab consists of the project menus, the scene tab to manage the objects, the material tab to modify materials and textures, the environment tab to modify lighting and environment settings, the camera tab to change camera settings, and the settings tab for more advanced image settings. Then I go to the right menu, which consists of the library menus for materials, colors, textures, and environments. The material tabs I use to access different materials, color tab to access different colors, and the environment tab to apply different HDR environments to the scene. Backplate tab to set up backplates, texture tab to access the textures, and the favorites tab for custom menu items. To import an object, I press the import button, select the OBJ file, then Keyshot opens the import settings window. I select keep original, and depending on the orientation from ZBrush, I change the orientation and import the file. I have already imported the other objects from the design to save time. I select a material from the material library and drag a material onto a part of the design, working in the different materials onto the different parts of the mesh. I then select the warehouse environment from the environment library and drag the menu thumbnail into the canvas window. I hold Ctrl and click within the canvas and drag left or right to rotate the environment. I press Alt and click within the canvas window to rotate around the design, and hold Alt and right click to zoom in and out. I then continue to apply the different materials to the parts of the design. Working out the hand materials, going through the arm, I select the gun and the arm part and untick the visibility in the project scene tab to hide the objects, making it easier to work on applying materials to the head design. I start to apply the paint matte black material to parts of the neck and the scratch metal material for some of the joint parts. I hide the hood from the design to work on the whole of the head. I apply dark and light values to the design with the grey and black matte paint material. Start to work on adding material to one of the optic mechanisms. Adding a steel material to the interior parts of the head and a matte orange for the interior wiring. I hide the lens part of the eye mechanism to apply a light material to the eyes. I then apply the glass material to the lens objects. Working in more of the eye parts. Filling in the interior head parts with materials. Adding more material to the eye mechanism. Continue to work out the neck materials, mainly using the matte paint materials for the paneling parts and the dark and light metal for the joints, as well as a matte orange for the interior wiring. I applied a perforated leather material to the scarf object. Working in the material to the shoulder joints. Adding material to the torso armor paneling. And adding a perforated leather cloth to the cloak. Continue to fill out the materials for the torso armor panels. Working in the materials to the torso joints. Starting applying material to the tactical pouches. Creating value separations within the material. Working in applying materials to the shoulder optics. Adding in the LEDs and the lens materials to the lights. I review the design. And save project file.